watching, actually, I think you had a conference, a health conference, and the both of you were up on the stage, and one thing that particularly stood out to me is you were talking about milk. And my family, we go through gallons of milk a week. It's incredible. And you were talking about how the cattle are fed these products, and then the hormones are in the milk, and they're metabolized, I guess, to a chemical that is linked to cancers like prostate and testicular cancer and breast cancer. And that's shocking to me. And we're feeding our children that.
So IGF-1 is a
That's what it was.
insulin-like growth factor 1. It causes cells to multiply. So if you have a cancer or a potential for cancer, it might speed that up, and so it's linked as a cancer risk. Now, I was told by a former Monsanto scientist that 3 of his colleagues who were studying the milk from cows treated with Monsanto's bovine growth hormone actually stopped drinking milk after the research because there was
You're kidding.
IGF-1. They said it will only buy organic, and one actually bought his own cow.
Wow.
The issue is that it ends up increasing the IGF-1 in the milk, it increases the bovine growth hormone in the milk, it increases the antibiotic-resistant bacteria in the milk, it increases the pus in the milk, and it's so distasteful, especially to moms, that they're going for the milk that says no RBGH, or better yet, no RBST, or better yet, organic. And
Yes.
That way they avoid that. If you go organic, you get another benefit, and that is that the cows are not fed genetically modified grains. Because a lot of cows are not just fed pasture, they're fed corn or soy, which are always genetically engineered.
So in great part, the organic meat industry is a complete fraud. So that's been exposed. And
Okay.
so if you give an example with the cattle, they are in the same exact pens as all the other cattle for generally the last 6 months of their life, with very rare exceptions, being fed the same, given antibiotics, but they self-monitor this. The other thing is transition your family off milk and dairy foods.
Really? Okay.
My book, I've raised 4 children, I have 6 grandchildren. They have never consumed a drop of dairy food in their life. Most of the world's population do not consume dairy food. Remember, Asians do not consume dairy food. If you look at my book, Dairy Deception, where I focused on the latest research, this came out 2 years ago, with dairy and eggs, these are not human foods. These are not something that it has any health benefit. And by the way, the reverse. I have chapters on showing how it creates osteoporosis, how it literally, as Jeffrey just absolutely correctly said, these inflammatory markers are linked to prostate, breast cancer, and all other forms of cancer, liver cancer, pancreatic cancer, brain cancers. And so these are not things that we have opinions about. This is the overwhelming data and research from global, authentic science today.
Facts.
Most science today is checkbook science. And that means somebody comes in and says, here's what I'm going to pay you, and here's what I want you to tell me. It's not they hand you a check and say, do good for humanity. That science virtually doesn't exist today. So everyone comes in with the outcome and the check. So you,
Right.
as a quote scientist, or parentheses prostitute, better literally go along with that program, or you're not going to be working in the scientific community.
Right. Let me ask one other question, something that's on my mind. Talking again about milk, the cattle are fed this GMO-related material. Who is responsible for manufacturing that and getting it to the cattle? So I guess the farmers buy that. Who is the ultimate company that provides that and these materials that ultimately lead to cancerous situations?
Well, in terms of the food, the animal feed, Monsanto, Dow, DuPont, Bayer, Syngenta, these are the 5 major GMO companies that now own 60% or more of the seed supply.
Okay.
For soy, corn, cotton, canola, etc., the main GMOs, they own far more than that. And so they have gotten 90 to 95% of all of the acreage in those crops genetically engineered. So if you're a farmer and you're raising dairy cows and you're going to be bringing in corn, you just get corn from the market and 95% of that corn will be genetically engineered. If you want to get the bovine growth hormone, that was sold by Monsanto to Elanco, Eli Lilly's veterinarian division, and you can get that from them, although most American dairies have stopped using it because consumers have said no. Now, what's interesting is that Roundup is sprayed on most of this animal feed. Roundup blocks the absorption of minerals, and so you have mineral deficient grains, you have mineral deficient animals. When you have mineral deficient animals, they are sick, they are damaged, and so what they produce in terms of milk and meat is also damaged.
Oh.
They die younger, there's a lot of infertility. We talked to a lot of veterinarians who are doing the laboratory tests confirming this.
Yeah, a steer in nature, a cow in nature, used to last almost 20 years.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, 2.5 to 3 years. It's an exception. So they've shortened the lifespan by 9 times or 10 times.
That's incredible.